With this, now we come to our plenary number 4, Dr. Nasir Ulaid Tawfiq. So sorry if I have wrongly named you. Dr. Tawfiq is an associate professor of theatre and performance studies. He is an artist per excellence who effectively combines theory with praxis. Having studied under the tutelage of internationally acclaimed theatre practitioners such as Professor Femi Osofisan, Professor Bod Sowand, late Professor Dapo Adi Lugba, and just to mention a few, he has accomplished artistry whose knowledge cuts across several areas of theatre, including theatre technology, applied drama, culture and civilization, dramatic theory and criticism, playwriting and directing, theatre and education, gender studies, and speech arts. He is the first African to have a doctoral degree using drama as therapy. He is an editor and member of editorial boards. He is a versatile writer who has over 40 articles published in reputable national and international journals. He is known for his textry in the field of theatre technology and passion for culture and practice of applied drama, especially in psychiatric institutions, correctional homes, and drug and substance abuse centers. He is the PRO of Association of Nigerian Authors in ANA Iketi State chapter and is visible in Google Scholar Academy and several other reputable platforms. He currently lectures in the Department of Theatre and Media Arts, Federal University, Oe Iketi, Nigeria. We welcome you on board, sir. Sir, can you hear us? Sir? Sorry for the technical glitches. Sir will be joining us in a while. Welcome on board, sir. Sir, can you hear us? Sir, can you hear us? Sir, please unmute yourself. Sir, please unmute yourself.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir, we hear you.
All right. Let me go ahead now.
Sir.
Good morning, hello? Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Hello. Yes, I want to start by saying with our African greeting, especially Nigeria, where I come from. So let's start by saying Eka Asen. That means good afternoon in English. And since we are on the Indian continent, let me conclude by saying Namaste. I believe I'm still in order. What I'm going to discuss on is basically on culture I'm discussing on African culture in relation with Indian culture. And the paper is titled A Peep Across the Ocean, an exploration of cultural diversity through the screen. I want to start by saying that culture is synonymous to all beings, irrespective of race, creed, religion, or color. However, cultures differ from each region to another. Even within the same country, culture still differs. This cultural diversity remains a distinct factor that binds humanity because of our quest to learn and experiment. Through migration, migrants acculturate and teach their culture wherever applicable. One of the easiest ways of cultural tourism is through the screen medium, which of course forms the fulcrum of this paper. This paper therefore takes an excursion on cultural diversity across continents, and it juxtaposes Indian culture and African cultures to see the points of divergence and convergence. Having said that, let me quickly take us through certain definitions of culture so that we'll be on the same page. Silverman noted that culture is not a mere exercise in pedantry. It represents a parsimonious statement of theoretical stance involving selection of primary features that are related and analytically essential. To some sociologists, particularly anthropologists, culture means a bundle of learned things. Culture has also been defined by White. Hello, am I still clear?
Yes,
By
sir.
White as organization of phenomena. All right, thank you. By White as organization of phenomena and patterns of behavior, objects, tools. However, we know that culture is not easy to define, and to some people, it may be complex. Culture that is complex, culture is that complex art, morals, arts, customs, and any other capability acquired by man as a member of the society. It is important to know that every member of society is socialized to imbibe the culture of the society so as to enable him live peacefully well with the other people in the society. Through socialization, culture is transmitted from generation to generation. Culture certainly helps in the explanation of strange happenings, mysteries, folk tales, folk ways, science, education, literature, arts, and so many things that affect the human environment. This now brings us to realize the qualities of culture. and therefore it is cumulative. And society lasts. The culture continues to enrich as hence, members of a group share certain expectations that take normative quality. Culture is really a group affair. 4. Culture provides ideational quality, which every member is expected to aspire to conform to. It defines the ideal way of doing things, and contrary behavior is viewed as deviance and therefore sanctioned. 5. Culture provides ways of satisfying individual and group needs, whether biological or social. For example, culture defines marriage as the acceptable means of satisfying urge for love and having children. 6. Culture is adaptive, particularly to the social environment, and that enables it to satisfy the needs of the people. 7. Cultural elements are integrative. Each part of it ensures unity to maintain the unity and growth of the whole culture. Having said this, it is pertinent to note that the qualities of culture include its universality. It is unique in that each people's culture is peculiar to them. But within them, they contain certain elements found in the cultures. For example, family institution. One of the family institution is universal. But the method of contracting marriage, which is the foundation stones, differs from one culture to another. That is, there are some elementary similarities, but then there are obvious differences. It is on this premise, I want to say that the world has become a global village where the use of technology, digitalization has made things easier. By simple subscription, we are able to view many programs from different countries across the globe while sitting in the comfort of our homes. It is on this premise that I'm dissecting some movies and the Indian culture they portray. Attempts shall be made to juxtapose these cultures with African culture. Therefore, I quickly want to go to some of these movies and some of the cultural things that we can glean from it as compared to our own African culture, Nigerian culture in particular. In particular, I want to look at some movies produced by Z World. Let me quickly say that Z World has become a homemade name in this part of the world. Many people prefer to watch Z World, not only because of the fine acting and the media techniques we learn from it, but also to learn about the culture and the beliefs of the Indians, which of course is alien to us, and which you can easily learn through the screen. I also want to quickly add that in the days of Dramenta, there was no subtitling, no voiceover, yet we still enjoy the films like Sholay, although in some instances we might interpret it because we lack knowledge of that language. However, today there is subtitling, there is voiceover, so we have a very good grasp of the message that is being said by the artists in the Zeewolf series. Some of the cultural things that you can view in some of the plays, especially, I'm going to just look at some plays like Ganga, Yoda and Akbar, and Twist of Fate. Let me start with Ganga. I don't need to tell you the history of Ganga. I'm sure everybody is aware, is very much familiar with that. So I'll just go to the cultural things and the diversification of it. Now, let's look at burial.
Sir, you are not audible. Sir, we cannot hear you.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, we can hear you now.
Am I audible now? All right,
Yes, sir.
thank you. Okay, as I said earlier, I'm looking at Ganga, one of the Zeewolf movies, and the cultural issues I could discern in that film. First of all, I'm looking at the use of the white color. It's observed that in India,
Sir. Sir, you are inaudible again.
am I on now?
Yes, sir. Now you are audible.
Oh, all right. So I'm talking about the color white. That in Africa, white is used for joyous occasion. Unlike in India, where white is used for mourning. This is a diversity in culture. Even though we too mourn our dead people, but we wear in Africa, dark colors were worn, not bright colors, and definitely not white color. Also, it is realized, I also want to look at gender, the roles played by women and men. In many parts of the world, women are subdued and there are certain roles they can't play. And this also manifests itself in Indian culture. Hello?
Yes,
Hello?
sir.
All right. This also manifests itself in Indian culture. In Ganga, for example, because of the fact that let's put it this way, she was a widow. And that's another point. She was a widow. She was not allowed to mix with the children of the person who took her in. She was treated separately. And quickly, let me say that some African culture that has been eradicated is still being practiced in India. And actually of this is marrying a girl off at a very tender age, which was the case in Ganga. She was married off at a very tender age, lost the husband at a very tender age before she even grew up. I think this is an injustice on the part of the girl child. Education. In Africa, education of the girl child is being heralded, is being encouraged, because it has been realized that the girl child can equally perform every task as much as possible as the male counterpart. But some of the films we watch on the tube in Zeewolf series The girl child is usually not well educated. Again, such an example of Ganga, who happened to be a creature that really want to go to school. If not, should have been left as an illiterate. Another issue I want to look at, which is different here, is the way of marriage. Marriage in India, according to the films, can be done between 2-3 people. Whether they will just go to the altar and get married and go back to their homes and announce that they are married, and that is that. Also, 2 people are seen by Samrat, and the lady he married, they married in the room by just moving around the fire 7 times, and marriage has been concluded. Fire is very, very important in India, as I've realized. It's called holy fire, which is beautiful. Marriages are done when couples go around the holy fire 7 times, and that is when such marriage could be recognized. However, in this part of the world, it is not so. In fact, I want to say that the Abrahamic religion are taking over many issues like that. People here prefer to marry in either the church or the mosque. Even though there is African traditional religion, which many people practice, but it's been relegated to the background. And this is one of the issues I want to commend India for. As we all know, India was colonized by Britain, just like Nigeria was colonized by Britain too. However, India, in its wisdom, adopted the British knowledge, but did not reject their own culture, their own style of worship, their own style of dressing. Unlike we here in Nigeria, we adopted the English culture, we adopted the English language, we adopted the English religion, which is one of the bane of our problems today. Kudos must be given to the forefathers of the India people, who still, till date, made sure that the culture is being practiced, that the Indian language is still being spoken. And this is one of the reasons I want to believe that formed the cohesiveness of India. That's an aside. Now, coming back to what I was saying, dressing, yes. The use of sari in India is very commendable. It shows the elevation and the acceptance of Indian culture. It shows that the Indians are proud of their culture. It equally shows that the culture can never be relegated and cannot go into extinction. That cannot be said of the same in other parts of Africa, where the colonialist culture, either France or Britain, had been adopted, and where our culture now is being relegated to the background, where our language is being regarded as vernacular, and where the colonialist language is being elevated, which is not the best for the country. Greeting. Well, I said it earlier. I said namaste. That is a popular greeting we were taught via the films that we have been watching, which is okay. But in Africa, and I want to say that, well, maybe that's one of the questions I should ask, whether the namaste is a general greeting that can be said at any time of the day. But like in Africa, where you have greetings for special periods of the day. In the morning, the greeting is different from that of afternoon, different from that of evening, different from the way you want to go to sleep, different from when you enter somebody's house, even different from when you are leaving the house, different when you want to eat, There are greetings for virtually everything you want to do in this part of the world. Another issue I want to look at. Hello? Okay.
Sure.
Another issue I want to look at.
Yes, we hear you normally.
All right, I'm still on.
No, you
Am
are
I still
audible.
on?
Yes, you
Okay,
are
thank
audible.
you. Okay, another issue I want to look on is the issue of relationship. Well, from what we have been seeing across the globe, relationship between couples in India is actually between families and not basically between the parties involved. It is the families that arrange the relationship between the man and the woman, and in most cases they don't have a choice. Although it works out, but we realize that such a system is beginning to change. For example, in Judah Akbar, in Twist of Fate, the arranged marriage is being queried because the people involved have found love, they've loved other people, and not the people their parents arranged for them. In this part of the world, it used to be a culture several years ago, but now it's no more. It's only the couple that have a say whether they want to marry each other or not. What I want to say that arranged marriage have its own advantage. I think that disadvantages outweighs the advantages because the couples are the ones that have to live for a very long period of time. And if care is not taken, such marriage might lead to divorce. Another issue, another cultural issue realized is communal living. Yes, communal living. Well, there's a communal living in India where the families of the bride, or no, the families of the groom can live with the families. No, the groom can live with the families of the bride without any issue. Unlike here, where the moment they get married, the groom and the bride, in most cases, find a place of their own and start their own family. If either of the families wants to see, they go a visiting. Know that the groom packs his load, his luggage, and moves to the family of the bride and starts living with them. That does not happen in this part of the world. And of course, we realize that in India, the dead bodies are cremated for reason based on, although some of the reasons advanced by some people is that there will be barely enough land to bury people. That's just one of the reasons which we are not sure of, and that's why people are cremated. But in this part of the world, we cherish our dead bodies so much that if we can have a way, we can embalm them and keep them in a sitting room and be looking at their lifeless body for as long as possible. However, that is an African culture, but the Abrahamic religion, Islam and Christianity, are taking over these issues. In Islam, for example, if a dead person dies, the person must be buried within the next 6 hours. While in Christianity, the body can be embalmed, kept, and buried later when the family is ready. But in India, I also think that, if I'm not mistaken, I also think that the dead is cremated as soon as possible. Well, I want to say that certain things through the films have been revealing. For example, in Judah and Akbar, one of the films under dissection, we realize that Indians too actually have fetish ideology. It is not peculiar to Africans alone. We were made to believe in the existence of witches and wizards, which in a whole, of course, it is educational and it is realistic. And we're also made to believe that even though they are powerful, that through prayers, they can be subdued. This is also the same in Africa. In Africa, we believe in the power of witches and wizards. We believe they can do and undo. We equally believe they can turn the day into night if care is not taken. However, we equally believe that with the power of prayers, these witches and wizards can be subdued. Although the method of prayer might be different, we are also made to believe that we are actually praying to the same God, which may come in different nomenclature. One of the things I've also realized is the special attachment that is given to an animal, namely the cow in India continent. The cow is revered in a way. The cow is, I don't want to say worshipped, but the cow is special. And I think this probably must have antecedents, maybe due to some ancient practice, which is still being practiced. But in Africa, Nigeria especially, such is not done. No animal is being worshipped. In fact, animals are being used as objects of worship. We use animals as objects of worship. For example, in some of our traditions, there is a deity called Ogun. That's our own god of thunder. The dog is being used to sacrifice to Ogun. You know, the worshippers of Ogun use dog as appeasement to appease Ogun. Of course, animals like cow, sheep, and all that are just used to satisfy human satisfaction. They want to eat, they turn it to beef and corn beef and like that. So, but when it comes to sacrificial animals, Ogun is basically, the dog is basically used for Ogun worshippers. Festivals. There's a particular festival in India, which is what's the name of this festival? Which festival? What is the Holy Festival? In Holy Festival, colors are used indiscriminately. In Holy Festival, white is beautiful, very, very exciting and interesting. And in fact, it's during Holy Festival that probably many people forgive each other of their transgressions and all that. There is something similar to that in Nigeria, especially in Ekiti. On in that respect, because I observe that they also use colors, just like Holy Face. Hello, they use colors, they splash colors on each other's faces, they rejoice, they dance, they sing. So I'm currently researching into the origin of such festival. I want to see whether it has any coloration or any connection with Indian festival of Holi. Other festivals we do in Nigeria doesn't involve that. Festivals basically there are lots of drummings and dances, and people are happy. And of course, Abrahamic faith festivals, Christmas, Easter, Idul Fitri, Idul Kabir, part of the world. Though between India also totally different, but by and large, I want to give credence to India for sustaining most of their cultural heritage, for sustaining most of their cultures, and for sustaining their cultural hegemony. If that could be done by several African countries, the place will be a better place to live. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for that session. As we all know, understanding languages and cultures definitely builds bridges. So, sir, you have highlighted those points. And, sir, one more thing, I am very happy that you have talked about Indian culture. As we know, Indian culture is one of the richest cultures. So it's great to know that someone who is so much learned has taken a point from Indian culture. Thank you so much, sir.